starting off with my putters, I'm going to go first. I'm going to talk about my R Pro darts made by Innova. I have these two yellow ones that I use strictly for putting. They're very good for glidey putts. Inside the circle, I use these for pretty much any sort of putting. Then I have this blue one. It's a little older, a little bit more beat up, some more turn on some putts, maybe some longer putting approach shots. Next, keeping with the Innova theme, I'm going to be throwing some R Pro pigs. I've gotten this one from Cadillac himself, Kenny Miller. This nice blue one. I've nicknamed it Lumpy Jr., and I'll go over that in a second. Then I got this purple one from Mako. Nice and beat up, both of these. I use these for a majority of my forehand approach shots, straight flip-up shots, Anheuser approaches, anything like that. Every once in a while I'll throw them backhand, but mostly just forehand approach shots there. Next up, this disc I pretty much can't live without. This is going to be the Dynamic Disc Classic Soft Justice. If you've ever played around with me, you know Lumpy. Lumpy comes out for the majority of my approach shots, flex shots, getting out of trouble, scramble. It's really used for just about everything, and I probably could not play around without this. Next, moving on to some backhand approach discs, I have a MVP Envy. I have it in a soft plastic and one of their premium plastics. I use these for majority of my forehand approach shots, backhand putter drives and things of that nature. These are pretty much strictly backhand, and I use these for approach as well. Moving on to my mid-ranges, I don't throw a whole lot of mid-ranges. I usually will either throw a forehand or a putter kind of in place of those, but I still use these a good bit. First, we'll go with my Star Mako 3 by Innova. It's used for a lot of my flip-up shots, some just really weird forehands sometimes, but mostly backhand turnovers. Backhand turnovers, I will go to this Mako 3. Very, very nice disc that I use for a lot of different things. My main mid-range, though, are going to be these Glow Crowned Eagle Discmania MD3s. I have one kind of newer, and then one that's more worn for turnover shots. I've got one with my Big O logo on the back, kind of stenciled in there. I use these for a lot of things, backhands, forehands, flip-ups, but my main mid-range that I use for just about any sort of shot is going to be these MD3s. And then lastly, for my mid-ranges, I have this Heiserbomb Frontline X mortar. I use this for pretty much strictly backhand hyzer shots. A lot of open shots, I'll throw this when I might want to throw the MD3, I'll throw this instead. I have some open space to throw, get it nice out and wide and coming back left. But backhand hyzer shots on these mortars. Onto my Fairway Drivers. I have one in the bag that everybody that's played around with me is going to know about. It's my Champion TL Plus mold by Innova. I use this for a lot of different sort of backhand shots. This is a fairway driver. I can push this out to probably close to 400 feet. I don't use sort of a Thunderbird PD type disc, like a 9-speed. For the most part, for my backhands, I can push these TLs out as far as I want. The Plus mold fits great in my hand. I've been throwing them for years for all sorts of things, and I love it. So if you don't have one yet, Innova Disc Champion TL Plus mold. You might be able to find just a TL nowadays, maybe not the Plus mold, but they're great. Another one that I've thrown kind of in the past year or so, this is a Discmania C-Line FD. It's kind of like the TL, a little bit more flip to it. I like it. It's kind of just a beat-in Champion TL. A lot of fairway drive shots with that as well. On to my next disc, which is going to be the Firebird. I use this pretty much just forehands. Every once in a while I'll do a backhand. First off is going to be these Innova Nate Sexton Tour Series 2017 Firebirds. I use these pretty much strictly forehand. Approach shots, this one's pretty beat up. I can get it to flip up flat, move left if I want to, but always finish right at the end. These are my go-tos when I'm in the woods. Any sort of forehand shot, I'm probably going to be whipping one of these out. Then I've got this pink one, the good old Cadillac logo on it, from Kenny Miller. It's FAF Champ Firebird. I use this for backhand hyzer shots that I need to spike or put it low and get a big skip off of it. Very flat, very overstable Firebird here. On to the good stuff. These are going to be my distance drivers. This is going to be big arm, big O discs. So these are this is going to be the Innova Star Shrike. I use this pretty much just forehands or backhand rollers. Flippy disc I need that are very much contrasted to these other ones that I've got in the bag. This one comes out long forehands. This disc has been great for my long forehand. Something I've learned to do is use these discs that I can get to do the work for me. Let them flip up, let them ride, instead of trying to force something over, especially with the forehand. Next disc that I've picked up in the past few years is the Discmania S-Line DD3. I've got a pink one that's newer and a blue one that's really beat in. This blue one will get a nice flip up and turn to it, whereas this pink one will always come back hyzer at the end. These are my go-to distance drivers when I'm out in the open, when I really need to crush on something and get some distance, and forehands when I really need a hook. When I really need a hook, I'll pull these out, and forehand will be contrast to the Star Shrike that I throw on a lot of my forehands. Then finally, I've got these Innova Metal Flake Champion 8s. These are my poor man's Metal Flake Max. I use these for backhand hyzers, backhand flex shots. These are my go-tos when I'm trying to stick something in the fairway. A tight fairway out in the open, I'll definitely pull out one of these Metal Flake 8s and try to hook them in nice. They'll spike, they'll skip when I want them to. I've really learned to control these discs in all sorts of scenarios with. So one of my favorites that a lot of people don't use, the Innova Champion 8.